The desolate landscape of Ganymede stretched endlessly before Dr. Elara Chen as she trudged through the icy terrain. Jupiter's largest moon had been her home for the past 3 years, a solitary existence dedicated to the search for extraterrestrial microbial life. The research outpost, a cluster of interconnected domes, stood as humanity's furthest permanent presence in the solar system. Elara's breath fogged inside her helmet as she collected another ice core sample. The work was tedious, but the possibility of discovery kept her going. As she straightened up, a flash of light in the sky caught her attention. At first, she dismissed it as a reflection from Jupiter's massive form, but the light grew brighter, moving with purpose. Heart racing, Elara activated her comm link. "Base, this is Chen. I'm seeing something unusual. Possible UFO approaching my position. Please advise." Static crackled in response. She was too far from the outpost for reliable communication. The object drew closer, its shape becoming clearer, sleek, silver, and undeniably artificial. Elara stood transfixed as the craft descended, touching down on the icy surface with impossible grace. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a soft hiss, a portal arised open. Elara's scientific mind warred with her instinct for self-preservation. She should report this immediately. Instead, she found herself stepping closer, drawn by an insatiable curiosity that had driven her to this remote moon in the first place. A figure emerged from the craft, tall and lithe, its movements fluid and alien. As it approached, Elara could make out more details. The being was humanoid, with iridescent skin that shifted colors like the surface of a soap bubble. Large, almond-shaped eyes regarded her with an intelligence that sent shivers down her spine. The alien raised a hand in what seemed to be a universal gesture of peace. Then, to Elara's astonishment, it spoke. The words reverberated directly in her mind, bypassing her ears entirely. "Greetings, human. I am Zephyr, emissary of the Galactic Confederation. We have long observed your species from afar, but recent events compel us to make direct contact." Elara's mind reeled. After years of searching for the tiniest signs of microbial life, she was face to face with an advanced alien being. She swallowed hard, finding her voice. I'm Dr. Elara Chen. What events? Why now?" Zephyr's skin rippled with shades of blue and purple. "Your world faces a grave threat, one beyond your current capabilities to defend against. The swarm approaches, a hive mind bent on consuming all in its path. We've come to offer our aid and to gauge humanity's readiness to join the greater galactic community." As if on cue, Elara's comm crackled to life. The voice of her colleague, Dr. Marcus Stain, came through, panicked and breathless. "Chen, thank God you're alive. We've lost contact with Earth. Something's happening. Massive objects entering the solar system. It's like an invasion." Elara looked from her comm to Zephyr, understanding dawning. "The swarm," she whispered. Zephyr nodded solemnly. "Time is short. Will you come with me, Dr. Chen? Your species needs a representative, someone to bridge the gap between our civilizations. Together, we might save your world." For a moment, Elara hesitated. Everything she'd ever known, her entire life's work, was on this moon or back on the threatened Earth. But the magnitude of what Zephyr offered, the chance to save humanity and to explore the cosmos, was overwhelming. With a deep breath, Elara made her decision. "I'll come," she said, her voice steadier than she felt. "But I need to alert my colleagues, prepare them for what's coming." Zephyr's skin shimmered with approval. "Of course. Quickly now, for the journey ahead is long, and the fate of your species hangs in the balance." As Elara hurried back to the research outpost, her mind buzzed with questions and possibilities. In a matter of minutes, her entire universe had expanded beyond imagination. She dreamed of discovering alien life, but never like this. Now, she found herself thrust into the role of humanity's ambassador, facing a threat that endangered everything she held dear. The domes of the outpost loomed before her, a final reminder of the human world she was about to leave behind. Elara steeled herself for the challenges ahead. Whatever the cosmos held, wonders or terrors, she would face it with the courage and curiosity that defined her species. The fate of Earth and humanity's place among the stars now rested in her hands. The sleek alien craft hummed softly as it glided through the vast emptiness of space. Inside, Dr. Elara Chen sat in awe, her eyes fixed on the holographic display showing their trajectory away from the familiar confines of the solar system. Beside her, Zephyr manipulated the controls with fluid grace, that iridescent skin shifting in mesmerizing patterns. "How long until we reach the Galactic Confederation?" Elara asked, breaking the silence that had stretched between them since their departure from Ganymede. Zephyr's large eyes blinked slowly. "Time is relative when traversing the cosmos, Dr. Chen, but in terms you might understand, we should arrive at the nearest outpost within 3 of your Earth days." Elara nodded, her mind still struggling to grasp the reality of her situation. Just hours ago, she had been collecting ice samples on a desolate moon. Now, she was hurtling through space with an alien being, Earth's fate hanging in the balance. "Tell me more about this swarm," she said, her voice tight with concern. "What are we up against?" Zephyr's skin rippled with dark hues, conveying a sense of unease. The swarm is a collective consciousness driven by an insatiable hunger for resources and energy. They consume entire planets, assimilating all life forms into their hive mind. Many civilizations have fallen before them. A chill ran down Elara's spine. "And you think humanity can help stop them? We've barely left our own solar system." "Your species possesses a unique adaptability and resilience," Zephyr replied. "Throughout our observations, we've seen humans overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. This quality may be key to defeating the swarm." Before Elara could respond, a shrill alarm pierced the air. The holographic display flickered, showing a massive object approaching at incredible speed. "Swarm scout ship," Zephyr hissed, their hands dancing over the controls. "They must have detected our warp signature. Hold on." The craft lurched sideways as Zephyr executed a series of evasive maneuvers. Elara gripped her seat, heart pounding as she watched the menacing shape of the swarm vessel grow larger on the display. "Can we outrun them?" she shouted over the blaring alarms. Zephyr's skin pulsed with rapid color changes. "Negative. Our only chance is to lose them in the nearby asteroid field. It's risky, but—" "Do it," Elara interrupted, her jaw set with determination. The alien craft dove into a dense cluster of tumbling space rocks. Zephyr's piloting skills were put to the test as they weaved through the treacherous field, narrowly avoiding collisions. The swarm ship followed, its massive bulk less maneuverable but relentlessly pursuing. Elara's scientific mind raced, analyzing the situation. "Zephyr, what's the composition of these asteroids?" "Primarily silicates and metals. Why?" A plan formed in Elara's mind. "If we can cause a chain reaction of collisions, the electromagnetic interference might disrupt their sensors. Can you target a specific asteroid with an energy pulse?" Zephyr's eyes widened in understanding. "Brilliant, Dr. Chen. I can, but the timing must be perfect." Together, they formulated a plan. As they approached a particularly large asteroid, Zephyr fired a concentrated energy burst. The rock exploded, sending fragments hurtling in all directions. The chain reaction was immediate, with asteroids colliding and disintegrating in a spectacular display. The swarm ship, caught in the maelstrom, was bombarded by debris. Its shields flickered and failed under the onslaught. A particularly large fragment struck its hull, sending it spinning out of control. Zephyr skillfully navigated through the chaos, emerging on the other side of the asteroid field. The display showed the swarm ship, damaged and drifting, no longer in pursuit. As the adrenaline subsided, Elara let out a shaky breath. We did it." Zephyr's skin shimmered with admiration. Indeed, your quick thinking saved us, Dr. Chen. Perhaps the Confederation was right about humanity's potential. Ilara felt a surge of pride, not just for herself, but for her entire species. They had faced their first extraterrestrial threat and emerged victorious, albeit on a small scale. "This is only the beginning," she said, her voice filled with newfound determination. "The swarm is still out there, and Earth is in danger. We need to reach the Confederation and formulate a plan to protect my planet." Zephyr nodded in agreement. "Your actions today have proven your worth as an ally. When we reach the outpost, I will personally vouch for humanity's inclusion in our defense efforts." As they continued their journey, Ilara's mind buzzed with possibilities. The encounter had shown her that humanity's ingenuity and adaptability could indeed be valuable in the face of cosmic threats. But it had also demonstrated the terrifying reality of the danger Earth faced. She gazed out at the star-studded vastness, feeling both small and significant. The fate of her species now rested on her shoulders, on her ability to forge alliances, to learn and adapt quickly, and to prove that humanity deserved a place among the stars. The unlikely partnership between human and alien had taken its first test and emerged stronger. As they hurtled towards the unknown, Ilara steeled herself for the challenges ahead. Whatever the cosmos held, she would face it with the unwavering spirit that defined humanity at its best. As their ship glided through the cosmic tapestry, Dr. Ilara Chen found herself lost in thought. The vastness of space, once an abstract concept studied through telescopes and probes, now surrounded her in all its awe-inspiring reality. Zephyr, her alien companion, sat in companionable silence, occasionally adjusting their course with graceful movements. "We're approaching the Confederation outpost," Zephyr announced, breaking Ilara from her reverie. "Prepare yourself, Dr. Chen. What you're about to see may challenge everything you thought you knew about the universe." As if on cue, a massive structure shimmered into view. Ilara gasped, her scientific mind struggling to comprehend what she was seeing. The outpost was a sprawling network of interconnected platforms and towers, each pulsing with energy and life. Ships of various designs docked and departed in a carefully choreographed dance. "It's incredible," Ilara breathed, pressing her face against the viewport. "How many species are represented here?" Zephyr's skin rippled with pride. "Over 1,000 civilizations call the Confederation home. Each brings unique perspectives and technologies to our collective." As their ship docked, Ilara felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. She was about to become the first human to set foot in an intergalactic community. The weight of responsibility settled heavily on her shoulders. The airlock hissed open, revealing a bustling docking bay. Beings of all shapes and sizes moved about their business, barely sparing a glance for the newcomers. Ilara stepped out on shaky legs, her senses overwhelmed by the cacophony of alien sights, sounds, and smells. Zephyr placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "Stay close. We must report to the Council immediately. They'll want to hear about our encounter with the Swarm Scout." As they navigated through crowded corridors, Ilara couldn't help but marvel at the diversity around her. Creatures that defied description conversed in languages that sounded like music or machine code. Holographic displays flickered with information in scripts she couldn't begin to decipher. They entered a vast chamber, its ceiling lost in a simulated sky. At its center stood a circular platform surrounded by tiered seating. Beings of obvious importance occupied these seats, their attention focused on the newcomers. A figure rose from the central dais, its form constantly shifting like smoke given sentience. When it spoke, its voice resonated not just in Ilara's mind, but seemed to vibrate through her very being. "Welcome, Zephyr of the Ethery, and Dr. Ilara Chen of Earth. We have much to discuss." Ilara swallowed hard, straightening her posture. This was it, her chance to advocate for humanity's place in this vast cosmic community. "Honored Council," she began, her voice steadier than she felt. "I come before you as a representative of Earth. Our planet faces imminent threat from the swarm, a danger we are ill-equipped to face alone. I humbly request the Confederation's aid in defending my homeworld." A murmur rippled through the assembled beings. The smoke-like figure, clearly the head of the council, raised a tendril for silence. "Your request is noted, Dr. Chen. However, the Confederation does not interfere in the affairs of non-member species without careful consideration. Your world, while showing promise, has not yet proven itself ready for full integration into our community." Ilara felt her heart sink, but she pressed on. "With all due respect, Earth may not survive long enough to prove itself if the swarm attacks. Surely there must be some way we can work together." Zephyr stepped forward, their skin pulsing with determination. "Esteemed Council, if I may speak, during our journey here, we encountered a swarm scout ship. Dr. Chen's quick thinking and ingenuity were instrumental in our escape. I believe this demonstrates the potential humans possess, potential that could be vital in our ongoing struggle against the swarm." The council members conferred among themselves, their communications unintelligible to Ilara. Finally, the central figure spoke again. "Your testimony is compelling, Zephyr. We propose a compromise. Dr. Chen, you will undergo a series of trials designed to test your species' readiness for galactic citizenship. If you succeed, the Confederation will extend its protection to Earth and consider humanity for membership." Ilara's mind raced. The fate of her entire planet now rested on her performance in these unknown trials. But what choice did she have? "I accept," she said firmly. "Very well," the council leader intoned. "You will have 3 solar cycles to prepare. Zephyr will act as your guide and advocate. May wisdom guide your actions, for the eyes of the cosmos are upon you." As they left the council chamber, Ilara's head spun with the enormity of what lay ahead. Zephyr offered a supportive gesture, their skin shimmering with encouragement. "Fear not, Dr. Chen. I have faith in your abilities. Together, we will show the Confederation that humanity deserves its place among the stars." Ilara nodded, a determined smile playing at her lips. Whatever challenges awaited, she would face them with the same curiosity and resilience that had driven her species to reach for the stars in the first place. The journey ahead would be daunting, but the prize, Earth's safety and humanity's cosmic future, was worth any trial. As they walked through the alien corridors, Ilara felt a spark of hope ignite within her. This was just the beginning of humanity's greatest adventure, and she was leading the charge. With Zephyr by her side and the spirit of her species driving her forward, she was ready to prove that humanity belonged among the stars. The 3 solar cycles of preparation passed in a blur of intense study and physical conditioning. Ilara immersed herself in alien languages, customs, and technologies, her mind expanding to encompass concepts that would have seemed impossible mere weeks ago. Zephyr proved an invaluable mentor, patiently guiding her through the complexities of intergalactic diplomacy. As the day of the trials dawned, Ilara stood before a mirror in her temporary quarters, hardly recognizing the woman who stared back at her. Gone was the isolated scientist from Ganymede. In her place stood a determined ambassador for all of humanity. "Are you ready, Dr. Chen?" Zephyr asked, their skin shimmering with a mix of anticipation and concern. Ilara took a deep breath, centering herself. "As ready as I'll ever be. Let's do this." They made their way to a vast arena-like structure at the heart of the outpost. Thousands of beings from across the galaxy filled the stands, their collective attention focused on the lone human about to undergo the trials. The council members presided from an elevated platform, their enigmatic forms radiating authority. The smoke-like leader addressed the assembly, its voice resonating through the arena. "Today we witness the trials of ascension for the species known as humanity, represented by Dr. Ilara Chen of Earth. These trials will test not only physical and mental prowess, but also the very essence of what it means to be a member of the galactic community." Ilara's heart raced as she stepped onto the central platform. The first trial materialized around her, a complex, 3-dimensional puzzle that shifted and reconfigured itself constantly. She recognized elements of quantum mechanics and non-Euclidean geometry, concepts she had only begun to grasp during her preparation. Taking a deep breath, Elara let her analytical mind take over. Her hands moved with growing confidence, manipulating energy fields and realigning conceptual frameworks. As the final piece clicked into place, a cheer erupted from the crowd, but there was no time to celebrate. The second trial began immediately, a test of physical endurance and adaptability. Elara found herself in a simulated alien environment, its atmosphere and gravity constantly shifting. She pushed her body to its limits, relying on the training Zephyr had given her to navigate the treacherous landscape. As she reached the designated endpoint, gasping for breath, Elara couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. She had come this far, she couldn't give up now. The final trial, however, proved the most challenging. Elara found herself in a diplomatic simulation, facing representatives from warring alien factions. The conflict was complex, rooted in millennia of cultural misunderstandings and resource disputes. She had to negotiate a peace treaty that would satisfy all parties. Drawing on everything she had learned about alien cultures and galactic politics, Elara began to speak. She wove a narrative of shared struggles and common goals, appealing to each species' unique values while emphasizing the benefits of cooperation. Hours passed as she mediated, proposed solutions, and built bridges between seemingly irreconcilable differences. Finally, as the simulated leaders signed the treaty, the arena erupted in thunderous applause. Elara swayed on her feet, exhausted but elated. She had done it. She had passed the trials. The council leader descended from its platform, its smoky form coalescing into a more defined shape. Dr. Elara Chen, you have demonstrated wisdom, adaptability, and a profound understanding of the principles that bind our galactic community. We hereby extend provisional membership to humanity, pending further evaluation of your species as a whole. Relief and joy washed over Elara, but before she could respond, alarms blared throughout the arena. The head of the council's form rippled with urgency. We have received a distress signal from the Sol system. The swarm has begun its assault on Earth. Elara's moment of triumph turned to ash in her mouth. They were out of time. Please, he begged, turning to the council. You must help us. My people won't survive this alone. The council members conferred briefly before the leader spoke again. Very well. In light of your performance in the trials and the immediate threat faced by your planet, we will dispatch a defense fleet to Earth. But remember, Dr. Chen, this is merely the beginning of humanity's journey among the stars. The real test lies ahead. As the arena burst into a flurry of activity, with ships being prepared and battle plans formulated, Elara felt a mix of hope and trepidation. They were racing against time to save Earth, and even if they succeeded, humanity would be thrust into a larger, more complex universe than they had ever imagined. Zephyr appeared at her side, their skin pulsing with determination. We must hurry. I've prepared a ship for us. We'll lead the vanguard to Earth. Elara nodded, her resolve hardening. As they rushed towards the docking bay, she silently vowed to do whatever it took to protect her homeworld and guide humanity into this new era of galactic citizenship. The battle for Earth and humanity's future among the stars was about to begin. The journey back to Earth was a blur of tense strategy sessions and hurried preparations. Elara found herself at the heart of it all, translating human military protocols for the Confederation fleet and helping to formulate battle plans against the swarm. As they dropped out of faster-than-light travel on the outskirts of the solar system, the sight that greeted them sent chills down Elara's spine. Earth, the blue marble she had longed to see again, was surrounded by a seething mass of swarm ships. The planet's meager defenses were clearly overwhelmed, remnants of satellites and space stations drifting lifelessly amidst the chaos. We're not too late, Elara whispered, more to reassure herself than anything. We can't be. Zephyr's skin rippled with determination. We will prevail, Dr. Chen. Humanity's fate is not yet sealed. The comm system crackled to life with the voice of the Confederation fleet commander. "All ships, assume battle formations. Remember, our primary objective is to push the swarm away from Earth and establish a defensive perimeter. May the cosmos favor our cause." What followed was a battle unlike anything in human history. The vastness of space lit up with energy weapons and explosions as the Confederation fleet engaged the swarm. Ilara watched in awe as advanced alien technologies clashed, each side employing strategies beyond her comprehension. But even with the Confederation's help, the battle hung in a precarious balance. The swarm's numbers seemed endless. For every ship destroyed, two more took its place. "We need to do something," Ilara said, frustration evident in her voice. "There must be a way to turn the tide." Zephyr's eyes widened suddenly. "Dr. Chen, your experience with the asteroid field. Perhaps we can apply a similar strategy here, but on a larger scale." Ilara's mind raced, possibilities unfolding before her. The asteroid belt, if we could somehow use it as a weapon against the swarm. Together, they formulated a daring plan. Using the Confederation's advanced tractor beam technology, they would redirect a significant portion of the asteroid belt, creating a massive, unpredictable debris field to disrupt the swarm's formations. The plan was risky. One miscalculation could send asteroids hurtling towards Earth. But with time running out and the swarm pressing their advantage, they had little choice. Ilara took a deep breath and opened a channel to the fleet commander. "Sir, we have a proposal that might turn the tide of this battle, but I'll need control of a portion of the fleet to make it work." To her surprise, the commander agreed without hesitation. "Your ingenuity has proven valuable before, Dr. Chen. The requested ships are at your disposal. Make it count." What followed was a dangerous dance of precision and timing. Ilara coordinated the efforts of dozens of ships, using their combined tractor beams to nudge asteroids into carefully calculated trajectories. Zephyr's piloting skills were put to the test as they wove between incoming fire and tumbling space rocks. As the plan unfolded, chaos erupted among the swarm ships. Massive asteroids tore through their formations, while smaller debris overwhelmed their sensors and shields. The unified consciousness that made the swarms so formidable became a weakness as confusion rippled through their ranks. The Confederation fleet pressed their advantage, focusing their firepower on the disoriented enemy. Swarm ships began to fall in greater numbers, unable to coordinate their defenses effectively. Ilara allowed herself a moment of hope. "It's working. We might actually." Her words were cut short as their ship rocked violently. A stray asteroid, knocked off course by the battle, had clipped their hull. Warning lights flashed as systems began to fail. "We're losing power," Zephyr reported, their skin pulsing with alarm. "We need to evacuate." But Ilara's eyes were fixed on the view screen, where a massive swarm mothership was emerging from the chaos, its defenses still intact. If it reached Earth, all would be lost. "No," she said, her voice steady with resolve. "We have one shot at ending this. Plot a collision course with that mothership." Zephyr's eyes widened in understanding. "Dr. Chen, the chances of survival are irrelevant," Ilara finished. "Earth's future is what matters now." "It's been an honor, Zephyr." With a solemn nod, Zephyr input the commands. Their damaged ship accelerated towards the swarm mothership, weaving through debris and enemy fire. In the final moments, as the massive alien vessel filled their view screen, Ilara closed her eyes and thought of home. The impact was catastrophic. The mothership's core destabilized, setting off a chain reaction that rippled through the remaining swarm forces. In a matter of minutes, the tide of battle had turned decisively. As consciousness faded, Ilara's last thought was a hope that her sacrifice will ensure a future for humanity among the stars. Consciousness returned to Ilara slowly, accompanied by the soft beeping of unfamiliar medical equipment. She blinked, her vision gradually focusing on a sterile white ceiling. For a moment, she wondered if she had dreamed it all: the alien encounter, the journey through space, the desperate battle for Earth. "Welcome back, Dr. Chen," a familiar voice said, sending a wave of relief through her. She turned her head to see Zephyr, that iridescent skin pulsing with warm, comforting colors. We survived," Ilara croaked, her throat dry from disuse. Zephyr's form shimmered with what Ilara now recognized as amusement. "Indeed we did, thanks to some quick thinking by the Confederation's rescue teams. It seems your reputation for beating the odds has rubbed off on me." As Ilara's strength returned, she learned the full extent of what had transpired. Their kamikaze run against the swarm mothership had been successful, turning the tide of the battle decisively. In the aftermath, the remaining swarm forces had retreated, their hive mind thrown into disarray by the loss of their central command. Earth, while battered, had survived. The arrival of the Confederation fleet and humanity's first true contact with alien life was being hailed as the dawn of a new era for the planet. Days later, Ilara found herself standing before the United Nations General Assembly, Zephyr at her side. The chamber was packed, with delegates from every nation hanging on her every word. Cameras broadcasted the historic moment to billions around the globe. "People of Earth," Ilara began, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her stomach, "we stand at a crossroads in human history. The events of the past weeks have proven beyond doubt that we are not alone in the universe. More importantly, they have shown that humanity has the potential to be a valuable member of a larger galactic community." She went on to explain the structure of the Galactic Confederation, the opportunities it presented, and the responsibilities that came with membership. As she spoke, she could see a mix of emotions on the faces before her: wonder, fear, excitement, and determination. "The choice before us is clear," Ilara continued. "We can embrace this new reality, pooling our resources and setting aside old conflicts to work towards a common goal. Or we can retreat into isolation, leaving ourselves vulnerable to threats we can barely comprehend. I stand before you today to advocate for the former." The debate that followed was intense, with valid concerns raised about the preservation of human culture and independence. But as the discussions progressed, a sense of unity began to emerge. The shared experience of near annihilation had put many old conflicts into perspective. In the end, the vote was nearly unanimous. Earth would accept provisional membership in the Galactic Confederation, with Dr. Ilara Chen appointed as humanity's first official ambassador. As Ilara left the UN building, she was greeted by cheering crowds. People from all walks of life had gathered, many holding signs welcoming their new alien allies. It was a far cry from the panic and confusion that had gripped the planet just weeks ago. Zephyr placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "You've done well, Dr. Chen. Your species has taken its first true step into the cosmic community." Ilara smiled, feeling a mix of pride and trepidation. "This is just the beginning, isn't it? We have so much to learn, so many challenges ahead." "Indeed," Zephyr agreed. "But if your performance in the trials and this crisis is any indication, humanity will rise to meet those challenges. The path ahead will not be easy, but you will not walk it alone." As they made their way through the crowd, Ilara's mind was already racing with plans and possibilities. There would be technological exchanges to oversee, cultural programs to establish, and a whole galaxy of diplomatic relations to navigate. The scientist in her thrilled at the prospect of unlocking the universe's secrets alongside alien colleagues. But more than that, she felt a profound sense of hope. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged stronger, more united. They had proven their worth on a cosmic scale and taken their place among the stars. As the sun set on this historic day, Ilara looked up at the darkening sky. The stars were coming out, no longer distant and unreachable, but full of promise and potential. A new chapter in human history had begun, and she was proud to be writing its first pages. The journey ahead would be long and fraught with challenges, but Ilara knew that humanity was ready. With curiosity as their guide and determination as their fuel, there was no limit to what they could achieve. The universe awaited, and humanity was finally ready to answer its call.